Honourable Member for Fisher.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I've been very lucky my entire life to be surrounded by women who perfectly encapsulate the spirit of International Women's Day. From my mum and my sister Lynn, and more recently over the past 27 years of marriage, I've been greatly blessed to have the unceasing love and support of my wife Leonie and our 4 strong, bold, independent young girls. It's fair to say that I've learned a lot about the strength, tenacity and courage of women as we've faced challenges together as a family. Above all, I've learnt to treat all women as unique individuals who are working hard to build a better future for themselves. Women outnumber men in my electorate of Fisher by as much as 5%. In Sippy Downs, there are only 83 men for every 100 women. My community, Mr Deputy Speaker, cannot underestimate the importance of women in Australia. We have a great many number of groups in Fisher who support, celebrate and encourage women. The Sunshine Coast Business Women's Network seeks to connect and inspire individuals through mentoring programs, bursaries and professional development. Our local chambers of commerce are full of successful female business leaders like Ursula Starkovsky, the president of our Glasshouse Country Chamber, Leanne Layfield is the executive officer at Caloundra Chamber, and Sandy Zubranick, who's the chair of the Sunshine Coast Business Council. We have wonderful branches of the Queensland Country Women's Association throughout Fisher, at Caloundra, Palmwoods, Mullaney, Beerwah and Peachester, and Lioness clubs at Caloundra and Mooloolaba, among many others. Last month, one of our local young women, Sophie Jennings, achieved her first solo flight in a light aircraft at the Sunshine Coast Aero Club. This was an extraordinary result, an extraordinary milestone, having only recently turned 16 years of age. And I congratulate Sophie on this outstanding achievement and wish her well in her future aviation career. Mr Deputy Speaker, these are only a tiny sample of the many successful women in my local community and only a snapshot of the activities and groups which support them. They show how women themselves and the communities in which they live are taking action to create and exploit their opportunities and build the best lives for themselves and their families. I could take all of the time allotted to this debate in listing these local initiatives in Fisher, but I must address the substance of the motion. It's certainly true that more needs to be done in terms of achieving gender equality in Australia, but under this coalition government we have seen decisive action and excellent results. I'll focus myself briefly on employment outcomes. The most recent figures suggest that 5.6 million Australian women are participating in the workforce. That is a record high, but the Turnbull government is not stopping there. The Minister for Women recently announced the expansion of our existing successful collaboration with Uniting Care Australia in Queensland, Western Australia and in South Australia. We have committed $10 million into the new Launch into Work program. This program will create new partnerships with other businesses and not-for-profits to deliver pre-employment training for women who want to find work. Again, the latest data suggests that the gender pay gap in Australia has recently narrowed. The most important thing that the government can do to narrow it further is to improve access to quality childcare and ensure that women are not held back from pursuing their careers. The Turnbull government's increased investment in childcare will benefit 1 million families and ensure that households earning $65,000 or less will have 85% of their costs refunded. For families earning up to $185,000, the government will abolish the $7,500 cap and instead introduce an hourly rate cap to help keep down fee increases. Mr Deputy Speaker, the Turnbull government is taking action on employment outcomes for women, as well as health outcomes for young girls, family violence and a host of other important issues which I am sure that my colleagues will explore in this debate. This House should celebrate International Women's Day and it should celebrate the government's delivery of policies that support Australian women.